New tonight, the owner of an Iowa roofing company has been sentenced in a criminal case. Now, earlier this year, First Alert 6 Investigates told you Joshua Peterson pleaded guilty to attempted theft by deception of $5,000 or more. Well, late last week, documents indicate Peterson was sentenced to a year of probation. In August of 2024, an Omaha homeowner told our Mike McKnight he paid more than $12,000 to DRJ of Eastern Iowa for roof repairs, only for Peterson to never follow through. A First Alert 6 investigation led to the arrest of Peterson, who paid a refund through the clerk of the district court. A First Alert 6 investigation is helping disabled veterans get a new tax break. Many of them didn't know a Nebraska law passed in January exempts their motor vehicle tax and fee. Since our investigation, several veterans have asked for refunds, and tonight, Mike McKnight tells us if they've been successful.
Fight for my rights.
A service-connected disability approval from the VA came a day after John Bowden renewed registration of his car, so he demanded a refund of the motor vehicle tax and fee that he paid.
Because it's deserving. I deserve it. I'm a disabled veteran, and I should get what's coming to me.
A former Air Force pilot, Sarpy County Treasurer Jeff Meixel, tries to alert disabled veterans about the new tax break.
So we hit them three ways. Big lobby picture, sign at the window, and then our customer service associates ask.
But the law requires disabled veterans to file at the Veterans Service Office first and apply within 30 days of registering their vehicle.
To address this appeal of
Those who don't ask the Sarpy County Board of Equalization to refund the vehicle tax and fee they already paid this year.
If they have to jump through hoops or if they miss something, I mean, come on. That's not what this is all about. This is about recognizing the sacrifices that military families and veterans have gone through.
One board member agrees.
It's just too complex. You know, there's too many ifs. You do this, then this happens. And it should be simplified. The other thing needs to be done, I think the VA through the state or somebody needs to get the word out.
4 disabled veterans who missed the tax break rules or timeline have received board-ordered refunds from the Sarpy County Treasurer.
The county board provided you this refund. They agreed with you.
Yes, they did.
What do you think about that?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's just unbelievable that, you know, you could actually work with the government about something, especially if they're wrong.
Disabled Air Force veteran John Bowden has up-to-date plates and money back for taxes he paid to register them this year. In Sarpy County, Mike McKnight, First Alert 6.
Today, the Sarpy County Board of Commissioners voted unanimously to approve all motor vehicle exemptions for disabled veterans. The resolution means they don't have to state their case before the board if they've been denied a refund due to a missed deadline or just plain confusion in the procedure. The board will also suggest that the legislature make changes in that exemption application process for all disabled vets.